Good morning again. It's still, I believe, May 3rd. Yeah. I'm out here on the trail by myself. I think that's probably for the best because I'm going pretty slow today. I probably could push harder, but with this being like the fifth injury that I've had out here, I'm trying to take it slow so that I don't, the thing about injuries, especially out here, with day, back-to-back walking, day by day, if you hurt something, your body, and I was thinking about this last night, like, it's not really so much bilateral, how the body is like symmetrical on two sides, and it's like chiral, because there's like a left-handed side and a right-handed side, but, your body has more than one way that it can do something, such as walking. And so if you get an injury, your body, in order to keep going, you like compensate. You find a different way to walk that doesn't feel completely natural, but it allows you to keep going forward while minimizing the pain that you're feeling. And so I have a definite pain close to my Achilles. However, I think it's actually like my calf muscle, like the muscle behind the tendon, that's hurting a little bit. And I think that's because when I destroyed my heels, which I'll get to that in a minute. When I destroyed my heels, I was walking weirdly that whole day because I was trying to not have my shoes scrape against my heels. And in doing so, that compensation caused another pain in this tendon muscle area. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so yesterday, wearing Crocs all day, I'm not really sure if that exacerbated the pain or not, because I would think, all things being equal, wearing two Crocs would mean that both sides of my leg in the same spot, both legs in the same spot, would be in pain, since they were both equally equipped with the same, well, let's say ill-equipped material. But it's only on one leg, thank God, because if I had this pain in both, that would be rough. But, I'm going slow because I don't want to have to compensate for this pain excessively, in that I end up doing some sort of damage to something else so that I could go faster or harder. I think this is a pretty good learning experience right now. I think I probably could have switched to my Crocs earlier on to save my heels the other day, which would have then also prevented this injury. But, it's not that bad. I think I should rephrase that. I know that I'll still be able to cover the distance that we had agreed upon today, 21 miles to Dismal Falls campsite. But it's pretty important that I stay by myself, because I know my inclination will be to keep up with the group if I see them, and I don't want to do that, because in order to do that, I'd have to compensate. I'd have to walk sideways or turn my foot out so that my knee gets tweaked, and then 4 days down the road, I still have a pain. It's a different pain, but pain nonetheless. So, I'm out here, taking it easy. So many injuries. Back to the heels. They actually feel great today. Funny enough. It was probably a little over 24 hours of no straps or no pressure at all on my heels. And yeah, they feel great. So thankfully that's been dealt with. And now I just have this one lingering issue, which I think, again, the magic number seems to be 2 to 3 days. So I think tomorrow it'll feel, 50 to 80% better. And then the day after that, I probably won't be able to notice it at all. And then the day after that, hopefully, I'll be able to walk normally and try to listen to my body a little bit better. when you're trying to keep up with a group or just even a single person, you can't stop. I mean, you can definitely stop. You can stop. You don't want to stop, because even stopping just to pee, that's going to put a gap that may not be able to be covered. And so, with my body, if I had been by myself and a little bit more motivated to tend to my needs, I might have been able to prevent both the heels hurting and then the subsequent compensatory pain. But again, it's not that bad. It could always be worse. It could be that ACL injury that I was worried about, where for some reason I couldn't extend my left leg all the way if I sat for too long. It would just get really, really tight, and it would literally feel like there was like a stopper, like extend my leg, and it would just stop, like not fully extended, but yeah. So my plan today, again, take it easy. I'm not going to take any big breaks. I'm taking it easy enough to where I think I can just maintain this pace and take a bunch of little, very small breaks. The longest break I'll probably take today will be refilling water, but I want to make sure that I don't get too behind everybody else. Oh, little frog. I want to roll into the campsite maybe no more than 20 or 30 minutes behind everybody. We'll see if that's feasible. I mean, if they take a nice luxurious lunch of 30 or 45 minutes and I can get in front of them, all the better. And the most interesting thing about, especially coming up with these injuries as I move forward, is just the fact that I still haven't gotten to that point where I say to myself, why am I doing this? And I really don't think I will, unless I'm in like dire situation, like confronted by a bear, I don't know, have some sort of weird accident, break my leg, the mundane things that are just the day in and day out of such an endeavor, they don't really get me that low. I mean, I still have probably 90 something days in front of me, so it's still a bit premature to say anything conclusively about how I feel and how I'm feeling motivationally. But even still, I just remember being out on the trail last year when Benji and I went to a Holiday Inn Express. They had a free continental breakfast, and I woke up early so I could be there right when it was opened up. And there was an older guy there, maybe mid-late 50s. I think he was through hiking. He must have been, yeah. And by this point, this was maybe 4 or 5 days in to the whole thing for me and Benji. And I had already sort of fallen in love with it, and I was jealous of all the people who were going to be able to continue. And, I was I had a lot of respect and admiration for anyone who was not stopping at Winding Stair Gap, but pushing forward. All right, we got an uphill. Now, I'm going to interrupt my story just to say, it does seem to be the uphills that really caused this injury. I don't know why I keep wanting to say energy. And so, what used to be my strength, and the thing that I felt most confident about, is now my weakness, which is also sort of an interesting flip side to the whole thing. Because, they say, if you try to beat the trail will beat you. And so now, this is another instance where it's funny how precariously perched everything is on, with humans. We're so fragile and vulnerable. There's a fine line. I guess it's a Taoist kind of thing. Strength derives out of an absolute need for weakness. And so, the interplay between the two is close at hand, It doesn't take much for strength to become weakness, and similarly, for weakness to return to strength. And so, that's the that's the philosophical take on the physical manifestation of that sort of idea. It's pretty gentle uphill. I will say, everything is proportional, thankfully. My injury, which is relatively minor, is thankfully being dealt with on a day where the terrain is relatively gentle. If we were doing some of the crazy climbs we've been doing over the rocky surfaces and some of those more difficult areas, I might be in trouble. I mean, when I say trouble, all I mean is I might get to camp an hour and a half later than everyone else. I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna fucking make it. I'm not stopping. I'm just going slower. I'm trying to be wise. Alan Watts says, the fool who persists in his folly will become wise. And so, I'm out here, persisting in my folly, paying the consequence for it, reevaluating, thinking, what could I have done better? What could I have done differently? Why did this happen? How can I prevent it in the future? Etc. And so, ergo, you derive wisdom. You have to be stupid to become wise, which is why I like my trail name, Moron, because I think that sort of embodies the whole paradigm shift that I'm going for in my life. Yeah. And let's see. Trying to make sure I'm going the right way. Okay, white blaze. Might as well take a pee right here. So, yeah, I know I was talking about something else before I started going uphill. I don't exactly remember what it was, but it's been funny making this clip. I feel like I've been sort of intellectually ahead of myself the whole time while making it. It took a little bit of time to get into that flow state where I wasn't second guessing what I was saying, like when I kept saying energy instead of injury. That was because I was trying to get out in front of myself, but this is feeling better now. I'm clear-headed. I know what I'm trying to say. I peed. I've had 1.5 liters of water already today, and it's only 9:30. Stepping over some logs. Continuing north. So yeah, all is still well, despite injuries and all that stuff. The Trek, one of their topics for their trail correspondence series in the near future, I think maybe once we reach approximately the halfway point, 10 to 11 weeks in, the topic is the mental game. And honestly, mentally, this hasn't really been that difficult for me, which actually is another surprising thing, because I kind of predicted the opposite. I thought I thought I would take the physical part for granted, which I suppose I have, which has resulted in all my injuries, and that the mental part would actually be the thing that was the foremost challenge. And again, we're not done. We're not even halfway. However, in the first month, especially being around a group, it's been quite manageable. I haven't felt like I've had to extend emotionally or intellectually beyond what I was in my normal life. I have had a lot of out-of-body experiences out here where I feel like I'm just looking at myself while I'm saying something. And I only bring that up because I kind of just had one of those again, where I'm metaphysically aware of myself, and I'm almost observing myself. It's sort of a weird feeling, and it's not really easy to explain, or I don't know how easy it is for... Oh, a lizard. That's cool. Huh, it's got some jewel type things on it. I think I'll have a sip of water. Took 18 minutes to get water this morning. It tastes like it was worth it. Stretchman was saying it tasted weird. It tastes normal to me. Cool. Well, nice sharing a drink with you, little lizard. Peace out. But yeah, so I think today will be a podcast kind of day, because listening to podcasts, I don't know, when I listen to music, I want to go fast and hard. So I probably should minimize music listening today, or if I do listen to it, maybe I should only listen with one ear, so I'm a little less tempted to push harder. So I'm listening to Dixon Janes right now. Shout out to the Scarborough dude out in Toronto. And there's a new Harmontown that I plan on putting on after that. And it's a good day. It's supposed to possibly rain, but that's no big deal. Got my rain gear easily accessible, and after sending all the junk home that I did yesterday, my backpack is actually in a premium state at the moment. I trimmed basically all the fat. I could probably actually go over the backpack itself and remove a bunch of like straps and stuff like that. Stuff that I haven't used at all and maybe don't even know what it's for. Perhaps I'll do that tonight. Who knows? I did spring a leak in my Sawyer bag this morning that I use for collecting water, but I was able to somewhat close the hole. I just got a lighter and found the hole, and then, basically did what you can do to plastic bags. If they get a hole in them, you just like burn it and then kind of push it together with your fingers, and it kind of creates a seal just using itself, which is pretty cool. Pretty good little life hack right there. But yeah, I just felt inspired and wanted to make another clip, and you know what? I'm glad I did. I plan on hopefully catching the group at the first shelter, saying hello, and pressing on shortly thereafter. So, for now, another clip on May 3rd. Cinco de Mayo still, it's going to be here before we know it. Not that that matters. Who gives a shit? But anyway, wow, 17 minutes. Alright, I'll leave it there for now. Talk to you later. Bye.